It's YouTube, baby. So I saw a thing on the old YouTubes, and I'm like, I need to text Jake about this, but it was at 4 a.m. when I saw it. I was like, maybe I should wait. And I was like, oh, I'll just share it on the podcast. But it's this manga that came out, and it's a Dragon Ball. It's in the Dragon Ball Z universe. I'm gonna find the name of it because it's like, okay, it's one of those dumbass titles that you like, you know. But it's
Okay.
Dragon Ball. That time I got reincarnated as Yamcha.
I have that.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I do.
Perfect.
I haven't read it yet, but it's over there on that shelf.
Yeah, the video like broke everything down that happened. And I'm like, okay, Jake needs to know about this. But since you already know, like, okay, perfect.
I think it only came out like a year ago or something. And I was like,
Okay.
I know I'll want to get this eventually, and I could see this being one of those things that like once it's gone because nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you were right. That is up my alley.
Like it takes some turns, I'll say that from
Mm.
what the YouTuber was breaking down. But the other thing I was gonna talk about, conspiracy time. So that dude that killed the senators up north. I don't remember. I can't think of his name right off the top of my head, but that shit is so weird. Like everyone on Twitter is like, "Oh, he was a MAGA," and other people are like, "No, Tim Walz put him in the thing, so he's clearly a Democrat." That's like all they're talking about. But it's like the dude had a family of five, was living in a house, and then he randomly rented out another house with this big fat guy that worked at Papa John's and they were just roommates. And then he would text the guy. He's like, dude, I think I'm like the dude was talking to the news. And he's like, yeah, he texted me, told me I think I'm gonna die, and was texting me that. It's like that isn't that weird to people? Like, who gives a shit what party he's in?
Yeah,
And then like,
because they gotta have someone to blame.
yeah, exactly. And then but then like his wife tried to skip town with like I think with her kid with the kids, a gun and a fuck ton of money. And she was also in the same she was appointed in the same thing that Tim Walz was appointed or Tim Walz appointed him in, and then it's like, oh yeah, this dude also was in Congo doing some stuff with a church, and it's like, but now he's the manager of a 7-Eleven. It's just
Okay.
like you hear all this shit and you're like, it sounds like this might be like a dude murdering people for the CIA or the Mossad or something else. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah,
weird.
very weird. Oh, it says my connection's unstable, so we'll see
Oh
what
shit.
happens here.
I'm digging I'm getting too close to the truth and
You
they're
are.
after us.
Um, well, switching gears a little bit, how are we feeling about the NBA Finals?
Not good. Um, After the Scott Foster game, which it's like, the calls are about the same, but like with the Pacers, they need the pace, for lack of better words, to be like fast. And if you stop them every 5 seconds, even if they were the only ones getting foul, only ones shooting the free throws, that's not going to work in their favor. And it fucking didn't.
Hmm.
And then at the end, Shea was just not getting any, like, Shea could do anything to him, like travel, push off, all that shit. And then they would like look at him and then they'd get a foul call like in the last 2 seconds. I'm like, this is pretty rough. And now that
But
they have to,
also, because I watched the game, Pacers couldn't hit a fucking shot the last like 5 minutes.
yeah.
Nothing
But
was going in.
I mean, it's true, but it's also, hard to hit a shot when Dort and fucking Caruso are beating the shit out of you. Like, because they weren't getting the calls as much as they should have. And and like I said, a lot of that comes down, in my opinion, to just how the refs forcibly slowed down the game, calling ticky-tack fouls on stuff that they weren't calling before. And that hurt the Pacers a lot more than it hurt the Thunder because the Thunder kind of prefer it slow. But yeah, so that's got me. And like, so now the Pacers have to win another game at OKC plus a game at home to win it all. And I'm worried.
Yeah.
Well, you man, are you less worried than me?
It's tough when you don't really care one way or the other, no
Yeah.
offense.
Yeah, no, fair
I
enough,
mean,
man.
I would like the Pacers to win, as I've said before. Uh, but I also said that I think the NBA wants the Thunder to win, and it's mildly clear, I think, at this point. So, it is what it is. I I don't know. I feel like, with the exception of maybe one game, the Pacers just can't get like a big lead and keep it on the Thunder like the Thunder can do to them. And yeah, they've come back to win against that, but I don't know. Like I think it's a good finals. Like they're
Hmm.
close games. It's just it never really feels like the Pacers have the upper hand.
Except for the last game. I was
Yeah.
confident for the first time in a while, and then I was just ha, gotcha, bitch.
Hmm. For sure, dude. But we'll see. Other
Yeah,
game, well, actually, I think the other game's going on right now, isn't
it
it?
is. Yeah.
So, all right, shall we?
Let's shall.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Two Worlds Podcast. I'm Jake, and with me, as always, is the hootie to my blowfish. It's Casey. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. What's up with you? Haven't we done this one before?
Oh, I don't
Like kind
know.
of recently? Because I thought
Recently,
like
a hootie
because
and the blowfish?
yeah, because we went and spent like 5 minutes because I was like, I think they did a song on the '98 Godzilla soundtrack, and then we found out that I was just wrong.
Oh, yeah, I guess we did, didn't we? Well, look, man, I only want to be with you, you know?
Yeah.
It's just sometimes.
I just want to sit on that wagon wheel with you, bud.
Okay, well, that was just Darius, but
I know. I'm glad you're on first name basis with them though.
hi, Mr. Rucker.
I
Darius, come
just
on, comment down below. I know you're listening. Let Casey know we're on first name basis.
I used to always get Blues Travelers and Hootie and the Blowfish mixed up when I was like very young.
Yeah, those are so far from
Well,
each
it's
other.
it's mostly because like I said, very young and in the that we had the tape deck for both of them. And I was like, yeah, they're the same person.
Yeah, well, I think both are good. I like songs from both of them.
I only know the one Blues Traveler song.
You'd
So
know more than one if you heard it. I promise.
maybe, but they probably all sound the same.
I mean, most have some pretty bitchin' harmonica solos.
Oh yeah. They were at Decatur kind of recently because Decatur's got that new amphitheater type thing, and they were there.
I did not know.
I
I probably would have tried to go, if I'm
oh
honest.
well damn, if I had known that, I would have like texted you about it.
Yeah, I've been
Didn't
to
know
one
you're such a
show
blues
there.
head.
Yeah, Blueshead. I did one concert there, like 2 summers ago. It's a pretty nice venue.
Yeah, I've still not been.
Mm. And like that same summer, and I didn't know about it, they had T-Pain. I was like, well, fuck, I would have gone to see T-Pain.
There's gonna be a Phil Collins cover band. It's called the Phil Collins Experience. If you're into it,
Boy, buddy, I'm not into it. I
I
like
think
Phil
that
okay, but
yeah, I think that the next actual big one, it's I think Styx is gonna be there,
oh,
and I have
how many original members are there at this point?
I don't know, but I know like like I think it's like all they have left is lawn tickets, and it's like $50 to be on the lawn for
Yeah,
Styx. I'm like, I'm good.
yeah. I do like a couple of Styx songs though.
I like one.
Which one?
Domo Arigato.
All right.
Mr. Roboto. Thank
Speaking
you
of
very
Mr.
much.
Roboto, I like that Iron Giant behind you.
Ah, thanks, man. It was a birthday gift from my sister.
Very nice. It's cool.
It's an older one, so I probably won't open this one.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. We don't have any comments, so we can jump right into the news.
All right.
I blew Casey out of the water, but most of mine revolves around diamonds, so I'll just let you do yours.
All right. Mine all revolves around something way more important to comic books. Pizza. More importantly, Little Caesars, mine and Jake's favorite. They're coming out with a special Fantastic Four pizza. I was really hoping it was going to be shaped like a four, like the Batman one that I had, that kind of gave me the worst diarrhea of, the week. Um, but this is going to be, they used to be called the Quattro pizza, I think is what it was. I'm trying to find it really quick. Um, yeah, they're going to call it now the four in one. And so you can get four different pizzas all in the one thing, and each box will have a different, Fantastic Four person on there. So you can if you were a fan of the Quattro pizza, which was available briefly in 2019, you'll be happy to hear that Marvel collaborated in a new spin on that quartered pizza, each with its own set of toppings. The large 14-inch pie will have four quadrants featuring different topping combinations, including two slices of classic cheese, pepperoni, Italian sausage, and bacon, and pepperoni and jalapeno. Pizza lovers will be able to customize their pie by choosing whether or not to omit the jalapenos. With each pizza selling for just $7.99, it's a great option compared to the Little Caesars one topping large pie, which retails for $7.49. So we gonna get four of those and then go see the movie?
Dude, my stomach would be an absolute fucking shambles. I'd spend the whole movie in the bathroom.
I mean, that's my plan anyway. Ha
Which quadrant sounds the best to you?
Pepperoni. It's a much better deal for me just to get a pepperoni pizza.
Yeah, well, good for them for, doing a fun promo. I feel like they
Yeah.
do fun promos often because they did
Yeah.
the Turtles one too, right?
I don't remember. No, that was the old Pizza Hut.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
whatever.
yeah, I think the Batman was the last one. Which it's weird
Yeah,
that they're
that's right.
kind of I think they're kind of it's kind of weird that they're cheating on DC now with Marvel. They should have done a Superman one.
True,
Little
but
Caesar.
they got to get that bag.
Yeah, but come on, Little Caesar, you little slut. Come on. I expect this stuff from Domino's, not you.
Yeah. All right. Oh, by the way, what do you like better between Domino's and Papa John's?
I would say consistency wise, Domino's, but like a good Papa John's is better in my opinion. It's just I've had a lot of bad Papa John's.
Yeah, I think their sauce is a little too sweet. I don't love it,
Yeah,
so I got to go Domino's. But
I got you.
I feel like those two are like, I don't know, the most rival-esque, I think. Like they're on the same tier level, you know what I mean?
I don't know. I think I would say because right, all right. So just if we're going by the numbers, Jake, Domino's is number one. Like just as far as like they've overtaken Pizza Slut, and then Pizza Slut's number two, and then Papa J's, and I think Little Caesars is number four.
I feel like Papa John's was a lot better before Papa John kind of went off the deep end.
Yeah, that didn't help any. But now their new Papa is Shaq, which you think would help.
You'd think. I never see any commercials. I see more like Icy Hot and the general commercials with Shaq.
Yeah, he does because they just re-released the Shaq-a-Roni pizza again,
Oh, okay. They're like,
and it's
fuck, we gotta
like
try it again. We paid him.
yeah. Yeah. Shaq's like, yeah, I'll release a shakaroni. The pepperonis are the size of my nipples.
Also, I got four rings.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, Shaq, we know. You tell Chuck all the time. Dude, I saw it came up on like TikTok or Instagram the other day, but It was Chuck talking about those big old women down in San Antonio, and it's funny every time I see
It
it. It's
is.
so funny.
It's like I don't think it would be as funny if it was anyone else talking about it though. But
Yeah.
since it's Chuck, it's so gosh darn funny.
And it
That
just
AI,
kills Shaq, which also
it
makes it
does.
funny. So,
I love that AI image. I think I sent it to you of someone
the
to
big
yeah,
old
like
flag.
yeah, it was like early AI, so it makes it even funnier because like there's one of the big old women in the background with just the churro on her nose.
Yeah.
But, but yeah, it's for those that don't know, it's Charles Barkley being fed churros by the big old women in San Antonio,
Yep.
and it's great.
It is great. Alrighty. Now on to all my stuff. I'll save all the diamond stuff for last, which is most of it, but we are getting a four-issue miniseries in September called Undead Iron Fist, where they're bringing Danny back from the dead. It's by writer Jason Liu, who wrote that miniseries where he died, and then art by Fran Gallon or Galan. The article I read, it had like a quote from Liu, and he was like, "Oh, I was like super nervous when I did this. I thought I'd get a lot of backlash from fans about me killing Danny." And I'm thinking, dude, I don't think anyone gave a shit. And I don't mean that in like a disrespectful way, because we read that book and like it was fine or whatever. But I just don't think that had quite the punch as like Doctor Strange or some of the others in more recent memory, like Moon Knight
Yeah.
even. So, but I think the title Undead Iron Fist sounds sick. Obviously, I'm happy that Danny will be back. I hope that he, in classic Marvel fashion, after the miniseries, they'll reboot with the number one and maybe give him another arc or two. That would be cool. So we'll see.
I'm not gonna lie, I very much kind of forgot that Danny even died.
I That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I think it had really no effect on anything because no one even mentioned it after that happened because they
right.
canceled the the Swordmaster Iron Fist series too. So
It would have been great if like since Luke is the mayor, if he just had a picture of Danny on his like thing, like every once in a while as he'd like be doing something, he'd look at the picture like I'm doing this for both of us, bud. And he'd set it back down.
right? I think that would have been kind of touching.
Yeah.
So also, okay, have you heard about Crypto's Golden Bone?
No.
Okay. So DC was kind of hyping up. Um, there's a facsimile that's coming out this week. So if you're listening to this on Tuesday when this episode drops, it'll be out tomorrow. But they're doing an Adventure Comics number 210 facsimile, and it's polybagged. And I believe that's Crypto's first appearance. But somewhere in there is uh if you find like I don't know if it's a scratch off or what, but there's a Crypto's Golden Bone that gives you like a prize promotion for you and one other person to attend the world premiere of Superman in Los Angeles. And uh like I said, DC was hyping it up, trying to get shops to buy a lot of these things. And so a bunch of retailers ordered really heavily for the promotions. And then it turns out uh, that it's mostly just a 30-day, like if you don't win, you get a 30-day free trial for like their digital comic service, which obviously did not make comic shops very
Yeah.
happy, right?
Right.
Uh, so like because no shops knew that that was in there, that sparked a whole bunch of backlash, and some stores were like demanding refunds or just trashing all their copies.
Wow.
So, like, you're probably not going to hear this story anywhere else, because it's like such a weird thing. Uh, But man, talk about just kind of a fucked up all around promo, you know?
Right. Oh, well, while we're talking about the Superman, did you see the new trailer? Forgot to mention that.
No. I don't want to see anything else until I go see
Yeah.
it.
I mean, it's another good trailer where they don't show you much. It's just another one of those things where, like, you and me seeing it, you'll probably have the same thought as me, where you'd be like, "Oh yeah, they're taking a lot of stuff from Birthright," which isn't a bad thing at all.
No,
But
it's a good
like
story.
we said the same thing with the last trailer too.
Mhm.
So it doesn't really, it doesn't really tell you much. It's just kind of like, yeah, there's some action scenes, and there's one scene where he says something silly, like someone would in Guardians of the Galaxy too. It's that same type of thing. That's
Sure.
it.
And the closer we get to it, the more excited I'm getting. I really want to see it. I just miss DC movies. I hope it's worth the watch.
And Fantastic Four, I'm the opposite with. Because like I was like when it started, it was probably like Fantastic Four here and Superman here, and now it's kind of, switching.
Hmm.
Because it's just like outside of Galactus, that Fantastic Four movie does not does not look good.
Not really. A lot of my customers are super pumped for it, and I'm
I
happy for
hope
them. I hope it's good.
I do too, but I don't have high hopes.
Yeah. Um, okay, so you remember a few months ago, IDW was like, we don't know if we're going to be around next year, you know?
Hmm.
Um, so they put out a post saying that they will at least be around for another year. Um, let's see, where was this? They were posting stuff out of like their most recent financial report, and IDW had to write off $745,000 because of Diamond, like being fucking
Wow.
stupid and not paying, holding their product, stuff like that. Um, so where was the other bit? I saw another thing. Penguin, I guess, is not being super nice to IDW with like post leaving Diamond. Um, let's see here. Yeah, Penguin was trying to stick IDW with that sum from the 9 million owed by Diamond to Penguin Random House before bankruptcy. So this made up 15 to 20% of its direct market sales via Penguin Random House. So with Penguin Random House handling over 80% of IDW's total revenue, IDW is now exploring other distribution options. So maybe they'll go to Lunar, maybe they'll try whoever, you know, takes over Diamond, which I doubt they would do that, but I guess we'll wait and see. But it's like, boy, it sure doesn't sound good, but
No.
I guess it sounds like they can at least handle stuff for a little bit longer. So
Yeah,
hopefully all works out for them because we like some IDW around here.
exactly, man. Like, yeah, it's wild to me that I don't get the Penguins' thought on doing that shit, but whatever.
I don't know. I don't know if maybe not that they don't care, but maybe they're like, well, we don't want to eat the money either. So you guys
Yeah,
have to figure it out, or Penguin Random House is just so big that they don't have to care about it. Like, I don't know. I really
yeah,
don't know. Um, also, Xenoscope has officially pulled out of Diamond. Um, I think like Xenoscope and Dynamite were like the last two. Like, you've heard of this publisher that was still
hmm
exclusive to Diamond. Um, but Joe Brusha, who was the owner and president of Xenoscope Entertainment, um, put out this whole thing. Um, let's see. So Ad Populum, who is the people that bought Diamond, It's known that they've been ghosting some publishers, and Xenoscope was no different. So, Brusha emailed them and was like, "Hey, Xenoscope has not been paid on invoices dating back to early May. This includes both past due amounts from Diamond and new invoices since then. This does not include the 70,000 plus dollars still owed to us from the bankruptcy. Um, as a small publisher, we simply cannot continue to operate under these conditions. We've tried multiple times to reach out for an update or a direct contact, and those requests have gone completely unanswered." So he said, "Let me be clear. Our financial situation is reaching a crisis point, and my patience is gone. If we do not receive a response within 48 hours, we will halt all shipments to you until payment is made. I've held back from going public with this, including speaking to news outlets because I didn't want to throw more fuel on what is already a dumpster fire. But if we continue to be ignored, I will start making the situation as public as possible. This is no way to conduct business." So good for that guy,
You know the way you can make it the most public way ever?
coming on the show.
Absolutely. So come on down. Tell us all about it.
So anyway, he not only waited 48 hours, he waited 72 hours just to give them a little extra time. Still heard nothing. So he said we're likely going to have to explore legal options at this point. And based on what I'm hearing, I doubt that they're the only publishers looking at that right now. So
Right.
I really don't know why Ad Populum even went through with this at this point. It's like,
Yeah.
are you just looking for tax write-offs? I don't know.
Tax write-offs and that sweet, sweet Funko deal, maybe.
I guess.
I mean, that'd be the only thing that I think would be making money at this point for Diamond, because it sounds like nothing else was.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's like if if they're not doing anything right with comics, are they with anything else?
Hmm.
So I don't know. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Zenoscope, I've got one guy at the shop that orders a lot of Zenoscope stuff. That's like Grim Fairy Tales and all those kind of like smutty books. Uh,
Nice.
but it's like, you know what, fuck it. If that's how this publisher, if that's like what they're known for, more power to them. Who
Yeah.
cares? Um, all right. Then moving right along, Dynamite claims that Diamond owes them 500,000, and Diamond came out and said, "Oh no, that's not correct. We don't owe them near that much." Um, Dynamite is their biggest and most loyal publisher in all of this,
Hmm.
and for Diamond to be fighting them on this, I think is A, super shitty, but like obviously Diamond's super shitty, right? But at the
Hmm.
same time, I hope that this pushes Dynamite to fucking leave. Like you
Yeah.
are like in Zenoscope for one guy, but like you're the last person I need gone from there to be getting all publishers on time.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I feel like this story breaking this week has to mean that hopefully by this time next week we'll have an announcement that Dynamite is leaving.
Hope
Go to
so.
Lunar, go to Penguin, get the fuck out of there. So we'll see. I was like, man, you guys are even screwing over like the last publisher standing with you at this point.
You know, since everyone else is just saying like Diamond owes the money, you ought to just be like, Diamond owes me like $80,000. Diamond would be like, only 80,000? Yeah, we can write Jake a check for that.
No, we could have during the whole bankruptcy thing because we do business with them. We got like official paperwork that was like, if you have a grievance or if they owe you money, like you have to
Oh,
provide proof,
nice.
but like,
Yeah.
here's what you do and how you take care of it. And it's like, Like I kept that mail packet because I was like, this is honestly like a piece of comic book history. Like
Yeah.
nobody thought that this would ever happen. So I'm gonna hold on to this just to remember how crazy this time was. But yeah, at the same time, it's like that would have been fun to do, but I also have to prove that, and I can't.
Yeah.
So um
Be like, my hair is falling out because of them, because of the stress they put me through. Look at this. Look at this old picture of me. My
it
hair
just
was so
badly
full.
photoshopped.
Yeah.
Um Diamond's new owner, Ad Populum, is now suing Alliance Entertainment, who was the first in line to buy Diamond. They're we heard a story a few weeks ago how they were like, oh, they like fudged numbers and didn't report all this stuff. Well, apparently Alliance uh has poached some like very uh like senior members of Diamond, like six or seven of them that all just happened to put in their 2 weeks and all happened to go over to Alliance at the same time.
Jeez.
So Ad Populum's like, we're buying this dumpster fire, and now all their senior management is now gone, and now they're taking them to court over it.
I just love the thought of like Alliance now just going to complete dog shit because they have the same people that wrecked
Dude,
Diamond. It's like, why would you want them?
I don't know. I really don't. I thought that was honestly kind of insane. I mean, maybe the like closed council of Diamond was like, here's why it's bad. And if like seven people say, no, these people are why it's bad, then that's one thing. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Um, and then my last bit to deal with all this Diamond shit. This was the big one of the week. Diamond has ended their no cost returns service for publishers. That means that all these publishers that are working with Diamond have books at the Diamond warehouse that Diamond has not paid for and now will not send them back to publishers for free like they're supposed to. They're like, oh, well, you got to
Wow.
pay for it. As you can imagine, that's causing a lot of problems,
I bet.
especially for like really small publishers that were working with Diamond. It's like they can't even get their stuff back to sell on their own now, and their stuff's just
Hmm.
being held hostage, wasn't paid for. Who knows how it's going to hurt some of them?
Hey, if they want to hire me, I have a truck and a trailer. Or I have a truck. I can be like, Daddy, can I borrow the trailer? And and I'll load the th thing up and I'll take it out to you. But you know, you just gotta pay me instead of Diamond.
Yep. So there you go. A really good offer. But
I know you're
I
all
think it's
listening.
crazy. I think this is absolutely so fucking crazy.
I'm
I
not
I don't know how legal action hasn't already been taken.
right.
You sent them stuff, they don't pay for it, and they're like, "We're not sending it back to you." Excuse me?
Well, it's like it might just be like, well, what are you gonna do? Take all our money? Oh wait, we don't have any. Like we're literally a sinking ship.
Maybe, but I don't know. It's like, can't you at least be decent people about this? Like, are you're really gonna take down all these small publishers with you because you can't fucking do your job?
Diamond's like, absolutely. How long have you worked with us?
I know, but it's hard. It really is hard for me to comprehend. If I'm
Yeah.
in this situation, I'm like, I'm fucking sunk. I'm just gonna say, whoever this is, IDW, boom, these small people, take it back. We're done.
Yeah.
Clearly, they think there's some, legal or economical advantage to doing this, but it's like, bro, if all of these publishers take you to court, what are you gonna do? I don't know. I think like this week was like I think a new low for Diamond after all
Yeah.
that shit I just told you about. Anytime you think it can't get worse, they one up themselves.
Yeah.
So there you go. I hope you enjoyed all that. All right. Hey man, what'd
Well,
you read this week?
nothing because my comics haven't come in yet. Did we ever
Hey.
did we ever find out when the new Star, because we talked about it briefly, the new Starman's supposed to come out?
No, I
Because
haven't put out an order or anything.
have you have you done orders yet for October? Because for some reason I'm thinking it's supposed to be October.
No, that won't show up till
Okay.
August.
Okay. I don't know how far back you have to do it.
Yeah, it's
I'm
just two
Googling it right
months.
now. All right.
Well, while you're doing that, I'll tell
Yeah.
you what I read this week. Got Magic number 6, Death of the Silver Surfer number 1, Resurrection Man Quantum Karma number 3, Robin and Batman Jason Todd number 1, Batman Dark Patterns number 7, Aquaman number 6, Batman and Robin 22, and DC versus Vampires World War V number 10.
Nice. It's not seeing where it's saying, yeah, it's just going, they're saying, yeah, it's happening.
Yeah,
So, well, yeah, it's still happening.
we'll see. I feel like we're about a year into that announcement.
I know.
But I was thinking about this too. So, you remember when they redid all of the Elseworld stuff, right? We got, that Dark Knights of Steel All Winter that I really
Hmm.
liked. Um, the Werewolf Batman stuff. Well, another one that was teased at the start of all of that was Batman the Barbarian by Greg Smallwood. And
Oh,
that never happened. That was like such a long time ago.
yeah.
And I Googled it and it was like September of 2024. They were like, "Oh yeah, this gets pushed back." Haven't heard
Hmm.
anything since. It's like, dude,
That's
that was
crazy.
one I was really looking forward
I
to.
know.
So,
That's all the way in your alley.
yep. So, all right. Magic number 6 by Ashley Allen and Jesus Hervas. Um, this is a fun filler issue. So, uh, Mommy Pryor, has her limbo embassy in Manhattan and it explodes, uh, hurts a bunch of people. And so Magic finds out because she's still tied to limbo and goes to Madeline and is like, I'm gonna go to limbo with you and help you figure out what's going on. And some of the demons there are forging a new weapon, like Magic's soul sword and Madeline's cool scythe that she uses. I don't know the name of it, but they make this super cool black rapier. It's just like all black and it's got like blue fire or lightning coming out of it. Looks super sick. And I didn't talk to you about uh issue 5 because that's when I was moving that week.
Yeah.
But in issue 5, Magic actually had like a one-on-one with Darkchild inside of her mind. And Darkchild's like, I'm not trying to like take you over and ruin your life. I'm just like here to protect you. So anytime I come out, it's because I think you're in danger and I'm trying to save you. And Magic's like, oh, well, if that's the case, then let's make this work. And so she does, and she looks like a magic dark child, like cross or like I don't know, crossbreed or whatever. Looks fucking cool though, and is obviously like crazy powerful. So that dark child magic comes out to fight alongside Madeline, and they just slaughter all these demons. And Magic takes this new cool rapier that she's naming the Wraith Sword. So now she's got two badass fucking swords. And essentially, her and Madeline save the day in Limbo. She's like, hey, if you need help or like people aren't listening to you being the queen of Limbo now, just let me know. I want to come back and help you. And Madeline's like, okay, I should have called you sooner. I'm sorry. I'll do better in the future. And yeah, it was like absolutely just a filler issue, but she got a cool new sword. She developed a relationship with Madeline and like helped put Limbo back in order. So I thought it was a really, really good issue. I think it's my maybe my favorite so far, although five was really good. Um, so I'm gonna give it like a 9 out of 10. It's my pick of the week.
Oh, nice, dude.
Yeah, it
Now
was really good.
I got a dumb question I've been thinking about.
hmm
Since Madeline is the, queen of limbo, how low can she go?
I thought you were gonna ask me a real question. I was gonna get to flex my nerd brain and help you, but I should have known.
All the way down to the floor?
All the way down to the floor, dude.
Hell yeah.
All right. Death of the Silver Surfer, number one. It is by Greg Pak with art by Sumit Kumar. It was pretty good. Like, I know you're gonna get it, so I'm not gonna spoil stuff, but I think Greg Pak does a good job of introducing a new character that you think you're not going to give one single shit about, and then it turns out you actually are invested by the end of the issue. Because Planet Hulk, there's a bunch of new characters, right?
hmm
And you like a lot of them. And all the Hercules stuff that you made me read fucking 15, 20 years ago, all good stuff, right? And stuff that like characters I had no idea who they were. So he starts to do that again, where it's like, I don't know if I'm gonna like before I read this book, I was like, I don't know if this is gonna be for me. I'm just gonna check it out and read it. And by the end, I'm like, okay, this is actually pretty awesome. I'm gonna continue with the second one. So I'm really interested how you feel about it because you're a bigger fan of him than I am, and you've read more surfer stuff than I have. But I thought it was solid. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
Thanks, dude. I'm excited to check it out for sure.
Yeah. Resurrection Man, Quantum Karma. This is number three by Ram V and Anand RK. I won't dwell too much on this, but this book is saying that, like, essentially, Resurrection Man and Vandal Savage were Cain and Abel. Um, Obviously, Cain being Vandal. Um, so it just kind of showed that early story, and then a part in time where a lover of Resurrection Man built essentially a cosmic cube and how he needed to steal that. None of what I'm saying is making sense to anybody that's not reading it. The whole point is it's fucking weird, but it's really good. Like, I think you'd love the hell out of this book, dude, if I'm
Really.
honest. The bad guy is just creepy. Like, Vandal's a part of it, but there's like another guy that was created for this who's just very unsettling. And I'm excited to see like how they do battle later. So anyway, it was pretty neat. I'm gonna give it another 8 out of 10.
Always staying hydrated.
Yep. Okay, Batman and Robin, Jason Todd, number one. It's by Jeff Lemire and Dustin Gwynn. It's fine. Dustin Gwynn's art is incredible, as always. It's early on of Batman training Jason to be Robin and how he's problematic. There's really good character moments between Bruce and Alfred where Alfred's like maybe we're not what Jason needs. Like there's something dark within this boy, and I don't think what you're doing is helping him. And I thought that was like pretty awesome because Bruce obviously doesn't heed that information or that
Mhm.
advice that Alfred's giving because we all know what happens to Jason. But I think it's really interesting that Alfred tried, and also it's just kind of odd to hear Alfred say, maybe we're not what's best for this boy, when they're fucking loaded and have infinite resources and stuff like that. So it was just kind of neat. Like, are you missing out by not reading it? No. But if you just like Batman or Jason Todd or the idea of Batman and Robin, then I think you would enjoy this. So, um, I'll give it a 7, but only because it's like I've read so much of Bruce and Jason and how they talk that this is very much just like, oh, Jason's unruly and Batman doesn't know what to do with them. But if you haven't read a bunch of that, I think that this would be a much higher book for you. So there you go.
Now, since it's early on, Jason, does he have red hair? Do you remember that when Batman and Robin?
I do remember that, but no, he looks just
Okay,
like Dick Grayson
I
essentially.
gotcha.
So
That was one of those funny Grant Morrison things.
yeah. Um, all right, Batman Dark Patterns, number 7. It's by Dan Waters and Hayden Sherman. It's very good. I have no doubt that Casey is going to absolutely love this when he reads it. Um, it's called Par Pareidolia. I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's when you see patterns in different stuff that's not actually there. Um, it's like you see stuff, like you see a photo in the clouds or something like that. Like, oh, that's a rabbit, even though it's not. That's like the theme of this arc, and I think it's done extremely well. And I really like how Batman's written in this. Um, one part I will share that's not a spoiler for anything. Batman's in this shitty part of Gotham, which I guess is all of it, but he passes this guy who's just like got a rat on a stick over a fire, and the guy says, "I'm eating a rat." And Batman doesn't say anything and keeps walking. And he's like, "Did you not hear me? I'm eating a rat." And Batman turns to him and just goes, "Okay." And I just thought it was
He's
hilarious.
he goes full Bobby Hill. Okay.
Yeah, basically he does. And I thought it was so funny. But anyway, it was awesome. Casey's gonna love it. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
Nice.
Aquaman number 6. I gotta share the variant cover by Marcio Takara of Arion,
Oh,
King of Atlantis.
that is great.
Yeah, very good stuff. But this is by Jeremy Adams and Michael Shelfer on the art. I wasn't familiar with Shelfer. Uh, he's pretty good though. Like there's some like sea monster drawings that are just like off the chain in this. But otherwise his faces and stuff are very Gleb Melnikov, and I mean that when like Gleb's like on a good streak, you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Um, but yeah, it's very cool. There's just like they're in the city that this guy that controls the blue is in, and the weird Venom symbiote shit has taken over all of these various water gods from different mythologies. So Aquaman and the Lady of the Lake and Arion all have to fight them. and it's pretty cool. And then, are you getting Aquaman?
Mm-mm.
Okay. At the end, there's like this little bottle of water in this underwater city. They're like, oh, there must be something really bad in this for them to keep this in this magical bottle that, shouldn't be opened or whatever. Well, then all these zombie marine gods start coming towards them, and they're like, we don't have any choice. We need whatever is in this bottle to maybe give us a distraction to get out of here. So they open the bottle, and this different colored water is like going through and taking out all these gods and stuff, or like cleansing their dead bodies of this symbiote stuff. And then you just see a speech bubble that says, "Hey, Aquaman." And on the final page, he says, "Long time no see." And look who it is.
Oh, damn. That's funny.
Yeah, Zan? Because it's
Yeah,
Zan and Jaina, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so it's Zan, the Wonder Twin. But it says next, Wonder Twin power activate, form of what the fuck? Which
That's
I
so
thought was
funny.
funny. So yeah, Aquaman's very fun. It's a very fun book. I like it a lot. Jeremy Adams, very good writer. So I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
Nice. I remember in the Jeff Johns run, he brought in Marvin and Wendy and their dog. You remember that them from the Super Friends?
Briefly, yeah.
Yeah, the dog ends up murdering Marvin and Wendy because Jeff Johns is a little angsty boy.
Wow.
Yeah, like it, or no, Wendy survived, but she ended up like in the hospital, and then Marvin got his throat ripped out.
Sounds like a really good story.
I mean, it's on par with Zack Snyder being like, I have something fun planned for Jimmy Olsen. It just ends up with Jimmy Olsen getting shot in the head.
Yep. 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 All right. Batman and Robin 22. It's by Philip Kennedy Johnson, um, with art by Rutro. Where is it? Javi Fernandez and Carmine D. Giandomenico. This book's fucking awesome, dude. I know like you really like this book too, but this one's great. Like the detect like I'm gonna spoil something because you already know, but like the French detective lady is just like, I know it's you, Bruce. Like I'm not a fucking idiot. We both
Yeah.
trained under the same detective. I know who Batman is. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense, right? Um, so that was pretty good. And then they basically, and you can tell from the cover, but they're like, we need to go talk to somebody who's been around for a while that understands some weird occult shit like that's happening with Memento. So who do they go to? Jason Blood. And they have to talk to Etrigan, who just looks so cool in this art style. But Etrigan basically uh, gives us a little bit of like how Memento came to be, which I thought was cool because I personally like when Batman gets away from just street level stuff, but doesn't go full has to save the universe. It's just a little
Hmm.
supernatural. And I think it's done extremely well here. So I'm
Yeah.
very excited to see where the next issue takes us. But this was really good stuff. I liked it a lot. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
Nice, dude.
And finally, DC versus Vampires, World War V number 10. I will show you my variant cover by David Paratore, but it's this really good Raven
Oh,
cover.
nice. Yeah.
And let's see if I can find the credits page. It's by Matthew Rosenberg and Otto Schmidt. I knew that. I don't know why I needed to look that up. Uh, but it's cool. Basically Mr. Miracle gets worn down and everyone keeps coming to him and is like, you're the only one that can stop Darkseid. Like you have to go talk to him. So he takes his daughter to Darkseid. Before all that happens, it turns out that the new gods have actually been working with Darkseid this whole time, which was a little bit of a twist because I thought, oh man, if the humans have the new gods on their side, they'll actually be able to fight the vampires and like do pretty decent, right? Well,
Yeah.
turns out that's not the case, which really sucks for the humans. Um, but the I like the reasoning. The new gods were like, and if this is what vampirism is like to humanity, like we don't want to fight that. We don't want to risk that shit coming back to New Genesis. I
Yeah.
was like, I like get it. I mean, you guys could probably wipe out all the vampires because you're gods, but at the same time, it's like I get it. But anyway, this is heavy spoilers for the end of this issue. For those that don't want to get it spoiled, look at the timestamps. But uh, Darkseid's like, give me your special kid, your half-breed kid, and this will all be over. And Scott's just being like super weird about it, but he gives up his daughter, and then Darkseid just fucking squishes him in his hand, kills him. And I think he just knew that was coming, but he had run like this is issue 10. He's been running for 10 issues. It's like he's been to Atlantis, to all these places, and could not get away from Darkseid. I think he was finally just fucking tired and didn't know what else to do. So he was like, fine, I'll go see Darkseid and see if I can talk my way out of it. But he couldn't. So he's dead. Darkseid now has his daughter. Now some of the vampires are teaming up with the humans against against Darkseid and the new gods. It's just like this is a crazy fucking book, but it's
Yeah.
good. I like it. It's like Rosenberg is just a good writer for this kind of thing. So I'm loving it. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I forgot to mention the backup. The backup story is by Cecil Castellucci and Marley Zarcone. And this backup story is all about Shade the Changing Girl, uh, which I believe her only appearance was in the Young Animal imprint of DC from a couple years ago. But dude, this backup story was so like neat and interesting that I really think I'm going to try to find the two trades and give those a read. Like
Yeah.
like Shade is just walking through shitty planet Earth. Everything's fucked and destroyed. But I guess her powers, I don't really know the full extent of those, but she's got like, everything's a desolate wasteland, lots of browns and grays, but she's got two people that are with her, and there's like this bubble around them that's like colorful. And when it shows their perspective inside the bubble, everything's green, there's flowers and rainbows. They think everything's great.
Yeah.
And I think that's super cool. She's
Hmm.
like trying to save these two people, like let them keep their innocence a little bit. And I thought that was awesome. Eventually, they run into Elastic Man and Kite Man, who are vampires, and they bite her. Uh, but it like fucks them up. Whatever her power is, like fucks with them, and it allows the two people that are with her to kill them with stakes. And then they're like, "Wait, so everything's not great? Like, what have you been? You've been lying to us." She's like, "Okay, fine. I promise you no more lies. You know, let's get you guys to some place that you'll be safe." And that's how it ends. And I think it's going to continue, but I'm just like, man, this is such a neat idea that I've never read before. It just makes
Yeah.
me, and the Cecil Castellucci is the one who wrote her 12 issues. So It's like it's
Right
cool that
on.
she gets to come, or they get to come back and do this character after what's been several years. I mean, Young
Yeah.
Animal's like 2016 or something like that. So I just thought it was cool.
Hell yeah, man. So, what are you excited about, buddy?
Uh, New Gods for sure, without a doubt. Um, Moon Knight, and let's see here. There's a lot out this week. I guess I'll go Nightwing.
Nice. I'll go G.I. Joe, Godzilla versus the Avengers, and Zatanna. Now, yeah, you and me both are like, we like what we like. It's not always the most popular. We got hipster favorites. So I was just thinking, why don't you give us some of your favorite hipster kind of comic books? They can be full-on series or just small runs or whatever. Like maybe you're like, I really like that run of Justice League that had Congo Rilla in it, or whatever, you know. Just let's hear them.
I don't know if we see eye to eye on this one, but I'm gonna say Werewolf by Night. And I realize how kind of popular he is in recent years, but I feel like when I was first into Werewolf by Night, the only thing available was like one Marvel Max series that was super bloody and edgy, and then the two black and white Marvel Essential trades. And that
Yeah,
was like
no,
basically it.
no, I think so. I mean, he's like a B horror movie monster character that they tried to make a thing, and now it's finally coming back around that
Yeah,
people are into it.
yeah.
So I'll allow it.
Thank you.
As hipster judge here, I'll allow it.
Um, One I talk about a lot, Sandman Mystery Theater. Like, I've convinced a lot of people over the years to read that book, especially since that like compendiums come back into print. But I feel like that was definitely an obscure series that never really got a good finish. So, gonna go with that one.
Hey, it kind of got a nice little finish in the old Starman.
True.
That
Very
was yeah, that
true.
was that was pretty fun.
Well, I mean, I trust James with that character for sure.
Yeah,
Uh, Another character that's been around a lot, but I feel like kind of fits the bill. I'm gonna say Dr. Fate. I feel like most people that have seen Dr. Fate has just been in like the Justice League cartoon or like a Justice League book where he's there for a little bit. But I don't know many people that read like the 2015 series or, that series that I love from the 80s that J.M. DeMatteis wrote. So, uh, I don't know. I feel like that kind of counts. I feel like if you've read
yeah,
those books, it's like, oh, this person is actually a Dr. Fate fan.
yeah, 100%.
Um, and then I guess for the fourth, I'm just gonna kind of lump JSA members. Like, yeah, JSA is the oldest like superhero team. Uh, but like the best and like most affordable or readily available way to read those characters whenever I was into them was like getting issues of JSA Classified, um, which would just give you two or three issue story arcs for various JSA members. So, Scott McDaniel had two or three issues of Our Man where he fought Bane, and I just read that over and over again. Um, a couple issues of Dr. Midnight here and there where he's like dealing with vampires or just some weird medical shit. I mean, stuff like that I just could not get enough of. And all of that happened inside JSA Classified. And I really don't
Nice.
know that many people that are like, oh, yeah, I read JSA Classified.
I think I I know. I think I had the Justice League Classified because I don't think they ever had JSA Classified at Walden Books.
Yeah. And that's a series that I'm interested in because it did the same thing, but with just, B tier
Yeah,
Justice League members. But I think that shit's super cool.
yeah. I think they need to do more of that. It's just I think it's probably hard to justify it with sales.
Hmm.
You know.
Yeah,
Um,
because JSA classified today would be like $6 and people wouldn't want to pick it up.
exactly. But for me, I'd go Starman. It's kind of an obvious one for me. James Robinson's Starman run is one of my favorite comics of all time. It's just it's just the best. Yeah, actually, I have a beginning, middle, and end, and it has a great ending. Um, and then for Marvel, I kind of was trying to do like some Marvel, some DC. Marvel would be my favorite X-Men related team, and it's the Exiles. Now, don't get me wrong, when you get to the Claremont stuff, it's kind of shit. So just don't read that. But like it kind of like, and it also kind of peaks like when they do the Hyperion stuff, because like that's when you're like, oh yeah, Blink is like the biggest badass character. It's so cool. I highly recommend it. Um, yeah, it's just so good. They had a bunch of different creators, but the first one was Matt. Oh, not Matt Fraction. What was his name? Shoot, I'm blanking on his name. The dude he did Under the Red Hood too. What?
Oh, Judd Winnick.
Yeah, Judd Winnick. Judd Winnick did the first, I think, couple arcs, or maybe just the first arc, and
I remember you
he's
getting that signed by him at
I did,
C2E2.
and he was like just like a little jerk. He was like, "Oh, I have a great story if I ever want to do this again." I'm like, "Then do it." And he's like, "Yeah, maybe someday." It's like, why share this with me then?
I hope he does one of these
Me
days.
too. I think he's probably making too much money with his comic strip now, though,
Hmm.
which is like good on him, but it's just a damn shame because that book is
All
so
that real
good.
world money ran out. He had to do
Yeah.
the comic strip.
And then
Or Road
another,
Rules? I forget which one he was on. Sorry.
I think it was the original Real World.
Okay.
I think or like Real World 3. Like it's like because he's old.
Yeah.
But then like I'd say The Incredible Hercules, the Fred Van Lint and Greg Pak one. So good. Nothing that no one that's written Hercules since has done it right since them. It's always been like, no, no, he needs to be having trouble with his drinking instead of, and like all this type of stuff. It's like, no, that's not a thing, guys. He's a god or demigod. And then another, I had a good DC one in my head, but I kind of blanked on it. But
Blue Beetle.
yeah, like any of the Blue Beetle stuff, but he's gotten pretty popular. Ooh, I know one. And this was my introduction to the Justice League International. I can't believe it's not the Justice League.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah, so that one's a lot of fun. It was a, pretty funny, silly good time. I didn't even know what Justice League International when I first originally read that. Like I knew that they were a thing, but I didn't know it would have the same tone or anything like that, when I read that.
Let me tell you, dude, it hits different after you've read JLI and then
Yeah,
read that again.
I bet.
Sweet.
But yeah, let us know down below some of your hipster picks and you know,
Not only your
um
hipster picks, but if you've read any of our hipster picks, let us know. Let us know what you thought of it.
yeah. And let Jake know if you're like, some of that stuff sounds pretty cool. I might have to check that out. And he'll probably buy it for you unless it's like, sorry guys, it's sold out. This is too hipster for the
Yep.
for me to be able to get.
I promise you, I have plenty of single issues of JSA Classified if anybody wants to read it.
But like you have to buy it. He's not a library.
Yeah. Throw me a couple bucks. A guy's got to eat. All right.
Like I
That
just
brings
thought
us to
about
the
that
end of the
scene.
episode, man. Hmm?
Yeah, I just thought about that scene really quick in Batman Begins when he's like, I was supposed to feed my family. It's like, ah, don't they like comic books? And he like, ha ha ha, walks away.
Oh, shit. All right, guys. Well, comment below everything Casey told you to comment. We appreciate you hanging out with us this week. Hope you enjoyed the conversation, all the batshit insane news about Diamond. Um, so yeah, we'd love to stay in chat, but We have to go create a bunch of smash hits from the late 80s to the early 2000s. So we'll catch you next time. See ya.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Two Worlds Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Two Worlds Pod, on Twitter at two_worlds_PC, and on Facebook at facebook.com/twoworldspodcast. You can email us with any questions or comments at twoworldspodcast@gmail.com, and if you would, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube.